Again, thank you so much for watching Idaho Today. Halloween is one of the most exciting days of the year, and the opportunity to see all the kiddos in their creative costumes and running around to get their treats. But in all the excitement, there can be some hazards that pop up throughout the night. So we had Dr. Michael Wheaton, a pediatrician from St. Alphonsus, give us some expert advice on Halloween safety. Dr. Wheaton, it is Halloween time, very exciting, but help parents prepare though. Give some safety tips for kiddos for Halloween.
Halloween is my favorite holiday. It's a chance for me to dress up in a superhero costume and enjoy it. But there are suggestions that I give to families to be safe. One of them is to choose costumes that are bright and reflective, and also make sure your kids are wearing shoes that are very comfortable. But one of the most important things, especially when you're out and about trick-or-treating, is being safe and be aware that children and vehicles are dangerous. So I think it's very important to use flashlights, glow sticks, in order to be safe out there.
Okay, and I can imagine too, a part of that might be making sure that they can see where they're going as well, right?
Yeah.
So if they're wearing masks, making sure that they can actually see out the mask.
Correct. And actually, I prefer makeup because of that reason, that it does decrease their vision when they're out, for sure.
And then let's talk about the treats, because that's a huge part of the night, right? The whole focus of the night, if you will. As parents, how can we make sure that the treats that our kids are receiving and eating are safe?
I think it's very important that the parent go through the candy, make sure that there are no unwrapped treats, spoiled candies, or anything suspicious, and to get rid of them. But also be mindful of your toddlers and your babies, because those are choking hazards, such as wrappers, hard candies. Those are the things that you need to be mindful about to get rid of, so your young ones don't choke on them.
And I mean, I can see just the situation. The elder kid comes home with their bag of loot and they dump the candy on the floor and they're going through, and then the little one just happens to kind of wander on over, right? Something like that can really happen pretty easily.
It can.
Even though we try to be as mindful as possible. So just make sure, you can never be too aware, right?
No.
Or too safe.
So true.
Yeah, and then when it comes to allergies, I think parents, for those who know that their kids have allergies, are already on alert. But there could be a situation where a parent discovers that their child may be allergic to something they didn't even think about during Halloween. So what are some of the signs and symptoms that a child might be having an adverse reaction to something they ate, or perhaps makeup that they put on? What are the signs?
So I think the most common adverse reactions you get from candy and those type of things are stomach aches and those type of things. But the more serious things that we need to be mindful about are hives, beginning to have choking episodes or wheezing. Those are more signs of serious reactions that you need to seek emergency care right away.
Okay, and in what type of situation then should a parent go to the ER versus the urgent care, or wait to see their pediatrician?
I think the most important is the respiratory symptoms. If you're wheezing, if you're choking or anything like that, it's very common sense to take your kid to the ER. But for the most other reactions, stomach aches, rashes, those things can be done in the clinic, or the urgent cares the next day would be fine.
Or and possibly could get in to see their pediatrician if they can. And I want to talk about the importance of establishing care though with a pediatrician. I know we're talking about Halloween time, super exciting and fun. We got our safety tips too, but this is also a great reminder that it's important to know who to go to when we are in need of help. Why is it important that we do establish with a pediatrician early in life?
I think pediatricians give a unique, specialized care for children. That's all we do. I think it's an opportunity to come in, follow your developmental progress with your child, as well as update your immunizations and things like that. But I also think that we are very specialized in taking care of the most medically fragile children, to the healthiest newborns, to adolescents.
Yeah, and as a parent too, I always appreciate the fact that you know the child, right? Especially when you establish young, you know who they are as they're growing up physically and mentally and emotionally. And it's all about that full comprehensive care, right?
Yeah, so true.
Yep. And where can parents go to learn more about St. Al's Pediatrics?
They can go to our pediatric website at stalskids.com.